Yes, let's go. Throw the hook with the best of them. King Kong beat your chest, should've slept on you. What's next? The check drip dip, run the neck check hook by the bookfish hook off the deck. ShowBizz. Throw the hook, shouldn't have slept on you. What's up, my people? This is ShowBizz, the adult. Alright, man, look, let's throw the hook. Well, so Saul Canelo Alvarez, he wants all the smoke, saying that he must take on the CHARLOs in his recent interview with Fight Hype. Before we get into that, this episode of Throw the Hook has been sponsored by BUSR.com. Go to BUSR.com/ShowBizz to place a bet on your favorite fights, just like the one this weekend, Canelo versus Yildirim. So Canelo Alvarez had an interview with Fight Hype where they asked him about CHARLO, and he said this.
CHARLO even said it. Canelo's avoiding me.
Quizás sí, ¿por qué no? En algún momento se tiene que dar una pelea con uno de ellos.
Oh yes! Canelo Alvarez acknowledging that he must fight the CHARLOs. And really that means Jermall Charlo, right? Jermall Charlo, he's fighting to become undisputed and just take claim as the dominant force at 154. As for Jermall's a little closer up to 168, campaigning at 160. Now we know Canelo Alvarez and Jermall Charlo has a bit of a history, really mostly with the boxing fans, where Canelo Alvarez has been criticized for ducking Jermall Charlo. How? By accepting the perks of the franchise title provided by the WBC. See, when Canelo Alvarez was campaigning at 160, the WBC granted him the franchise title, which gives him a few perks, right? I mean, he doesn't have to fight his mandatories. And at that time, Jermall Charlo was his mandatory. So with Canelo Alvarez accepting the franchise title, naturally he had critics saying that Canelo Alvarez accepted the franchise title so he could duck Jermall Charlo. Now, I think that's a fair criticism. Myself, I really don't think that Canelo Alvarez accepted the franchise title to duck Jermall Charlo. Why? Because he moved up to light heavyweight to fight Kovalev. So in my humble opinion, right, I just look at Canelo Alvarez, what he did after accepting the franchise title, and he didn't campaign at 160 after accepting the franchise title. He really didn't leverage the franchise title but once. When he moved up to light heavyweight, there he leveraged the title so he could have an immediate title fight with Kovalev. But after that, he just never campaigned at 160 again, right? He went back to 168, where he is now in efforts to conquer the super middleweight division. And really, honestly, since Kovalev, he's kind of like ignored the franchise title. I mean, he's not even claiming the franchise title. I mean, he's acting more so as the WBC regular champion. I mean, he actually fought and defeated Callum Smith for the regular WBC title, which if you all know the rules of the franchise title, you can't be the franchise champion and the WBC champion. And now he's taking on Yildirim, his mandatory. And that's another thing. That's a perk of the franchise champ. You do not have to take on your mandatory as a franchise champion. A franchise champion doesn't have mandatory. So Canelo Alvarez is pretty much ignoring, not claiming the designation of franchise champion. He is the acting WBC regular champion. And after Yildirim, he has plans to fight Billy Joe Saunders in May and then take on Caleb Plant come September to become undisputed. And that's where the rubber meets the road, where we can possibly have Jermall Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez. Now, we all know about claims of Oscar De La Hoya saying that they offered Team Jermall Charlo the fight.
We had an amazing offer. A very lucrative offer for Charlo, and he turned it down.
According to Jermall Charlo, he never received that offer and he would have never turned it down, saying how much that money would benefit him and his family and his legacy taking on Canelo Alvarez. He said that he would have never turned down that fight.
Canelo never gave me no contract. I've never turned down no contract. I never got a contract from Oscar De La Hoya.
So somebody's lying. Either they didn't offer it or they did, and Jermall Charlo didn't see it, or he turned it down, or he never turned it down. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm not seeing a consistency here. Either way, Canelo Alvarez is acknowledging Jermall Charlo, which is music to our ears. And I think the fight must happen at 168 and not at 160. Look, Canelo Alvarez has really settled at 168. He's just a bigger man at this point. Fighting once at light heavyweight and going to 168. I mean, if he goes down to 160, if he's making all the moves, become undisputed at 168, comes down to fight Jermall Charlo, I just think that would make no sense. At that point, you know, he's already pound for pound #1, so I'm not sure why he'd have to be doing all of the adjusting. On top of that, him just being a big man, used to taking bigger punches, that'd be kind of like bullying at that point. I would like Jermall Charlo to go up to 168, have a fight or two at 168, and go hunt Canelo Alvarez to try to knock him off his pedestal. And I think that fight would be a good fight. I don't understand why people don't see Jermall Charlo as a fantastic fighter. He is. And out of the two Charlos, I just think that he's the most technically sound one. I think Jermall Charlo is the most exciting, knocking out everybody. He has more of a fan-friendly type of style. Jermall Charlo, he kind of works behind the jab. He just does fantastic work. I just think he's more technically sound out the two. On top of that, he's a great athlete. He has great size. He has a great chin. He has good stamina, and arguably the best jab in the business, in my opinion. I think after his fight with Sergey Derevchenko, I think he just really displayed that he is a top fighter. I see him as a grade A fighter, and I think Jermall Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez would be a fantastic fight. Let me know how you all feel in the comments below. Please show up to my live stream commentary of Canelo Alvarez versus Yildirim, where I will be giving away this autograph photo signed by Floyd Money Mayweather, him and Canelo Alvarez in their fantastic fight. I will be giving away this photo along with the frame, so it'll be all ready to hang up on your man cave wall. ShowBizz, don't. I'm out. Huh.